Would you be able to meet your financial commitments if you were to lose a paycheck today? Finance Functionality features videos about financial intelligence, focusing on teaching individuals how to make major financial decisions. We want you to be empowered on how to invest and create wealth. Being financially literate generally enlightens us in various ways to protect our money and generate more wealth. You're either trying to make ends meet or running out of money by the end of the month if you work paycheck to paycheck. It can be overwhelming because you never seem to have enough money to pay any of your bills, let alone afford the items you want each month. It is almost impossible to get ahead financially when you work paycheck to paycheck, and a $500 emergency could be too much for you to handle. You consistently overspend each month, accumulating more debt. It might be much more daunting to break free from living paycheck to paycheck if your boss pays you with a prepaid debit card, but it is possible. These moves will assist you in being financially successful and achieving your financial objectives. Number 1, learn to budget. Learning to spend efficiently is the most important thing you can do. Anybody can write down a monthly budget. Writing down a budget and working on a budget, on the other hand, are two very different things. When you budget wisely, you keep track of your expenses and avoid investing when running out of cash. Many of your bills are incorporated into a budget that works, so you aren't shocked when your vehicle registration and taxes are due, or when it's time to pay your insurance premiums. It also aids you in dealing with fluctuating costs, such as higher heating and air conditioning bills in the winter and summer, respectively. This is an essential step toward no longer living paycheck to paycheck. It'll also prevent you from going nuts on expenses and spending all of your money for the remainder of the month. Number 2, cut your spending. It would be best if you reduced your expenses until you have a formed, functioning budget. This will free up funds that you can use to pay off loans and invest in an emergency fund. You'll have more money to invest per month until you have paid off your loans. The initial challenge is to find ways to save in about any group. You'll be able to discover even more opportunities to save as your saving skills improve. The trick to saving money on groceries is to set a goal of spending $50 less per week on groceries or a sum that is within your budget. Cutting down in small steps is even more manageable, and you'll be more likely to succeed. Rather than eliminating one category, consider cutting spending in multiple types by $10 to $20 a month. These additional savings will soon add up, and you can aim to save even more the next month. Number 3, set money aside each month. Having savings in the bank is the only way to avoid living paycheck to paycheck. This can be accomplished by deducting money from each paycheck. It would help if you had 1 month's salary in the balance for the first emergency fund. You should first start creating a more significant emergency fund until you're debt-free. For example, set aside 10% or 20% of each month's paycheck for your emergency fund. This emergency fund is essential for long-term financial stability and the ability to avoid living paycheck to paycheck. You are more prepared to cope with life's unforeseen problems because you have a year's worth of expenses in the balance. And if you start with only $50 per paycheck, you can trust your financial management. Just make sure you don't touch your money until you've started investing. If you know you'd be tempted to withdraw funds from your accounts, try opening an online savings account or storing the money in a different bank account. Knowing that getting that money will take 2 to 3 days or an additional ride to the bank will help you resist impulsive transactions. Consider adding any money in an account that you won't be able to touch, such as a 3-month CD. Number 4, stop using your credit cards and get out of debt. Getting out of debt is another choice. Your debt consumes a majority of each paycheck, preventing you from doing the things you want to do. If you keep putting money on your credit cards, you will not be able to get out of debt. And if you think the perks are worth the credit card, you can consider using it until you are entirely debt-free. This will help you keep track of your expenses. If you don't have the willpower to pay off your credit cards, break up all but one and add all the credit on that one, and pay it off every month no matter what. Avoid taking out a car loan or some other form of loan when you're doing this. Your emergency fund will help you pay for vehicle maintenance and additional unforeseen costs, so you need not have to rely on credit cards to get out of a jam. If you want to pay off your loans faster, you may consider taking on a second part-time job. Place all the money you get from side jobs against debt repayment. Once you're debt-free, you'll be in a great financial position to leave your second career. Number 5, don't rely on bonuses to get by. It might be tempting to depend on your bonus as part of your budget if your company provides monthly bonuses. You can never rely on your incentive to pay your bills because it is not a fixed source of money, and your employer can avoid handing out incentives at any time. Instead, have a schedule for how you'll invest your bonuses. You may use the money to pay off loans faster or build up an emergency fund. Remember that breaking a pattern is daunting, But with the right resources and practice, breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck is entirely feasible and well worth the effort. See if the financial situation improves if you follow the guidelines outlined here. Check out our YouTube channel for more financial advice. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave a message below if you enjoyed it. We'll catch up with you on the next one.